because going to the bookstore with gift card money is like a top tier experience because it's guilt-free. So loophole for all you bookworms right there. Get special editions of books you've already read. Book stickers are the bane of my existence. They are every book lover's mortal enemy because they're a nuisance. They're a pain. Come on stores. Stop putting stickers on our books. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is super fun, which is my bookish Christmas haul. Not only did I get a ton of books for Christmas, but I also got a lot of book related items. So let's get into it. So starting off, I got 2 different reading journals. So this journal is one where it's blank and you have to doodle and draw the templates yourself, whereas the other one, this one, already has pre-made designs and templates for you. So my plan was to start off using this one where you have to like actually draw and doodle yourself, make my own reading journal, but obviously that's a huge commitment and it's very time consuming, and if you're busy it is hard to keep up with a reading journal. Trust me, I have tried in the past. So this is kind of my plan B, just because it's a little bit more convenient. It's a lot easier to just kind of fill in the blanks, whereas making your own designs and spreads are a little bit hard, but I think ultimately it does pay off. So I'm hoping and praying that I actually stick to my reading journal, and by the end of 2025 I'll have this great reading journal that I can look back on and reminisce. So following the lines of a reading journal, I also got some markers. These are the Cali Art, yeah, is that how you say it? Art markers. And it is literally just this huge pack of all these like Copic markers, I think that's what they're called. It has a brush tip and a fine tip. So I'm super excited about these. I'm really hoping that they don't bleed through, but if they do, it's not that big a deal. Like I'll just put a little paper in between each page so then it won't bleed onto my actual journal. I just love that it came with a bunch of colors and there's a lot to choose from. So I definitely won't be needing any markers in the future at all because I am set for life. The last item that I got pertaining to a reading journal is the HP Sprocket. So this is essentially a sticker printer. You can hook it up to your phone and then print your own pictures, stickers, designs, things like that. And this is the printer, and then these are like the little special papers that you put in them, and I'm so excited. I saw a girl on TikTok use the HP Sprocket, which is why I asked for it for Christmas, just because I think it would be so nice to have stickers of the books that you've read every month, and then you can write your reviews, you can do a little wrap-ups, you can have all these different spreads, and then you don't have to worry about gluing, taping, things like that because it already has an adhesive back. I am definitely planning on showing you guys my reading journal experience, me using the HP Sprocket in a future reading vlog. I'm thinking just to alleviate the stress of having a reading journal, I will make a spread at the end of every month, just because that's kind of what Sarah Caroli does, and I think it really works for her and her busy schedule. So I'm gonna kind of use her philosophy, use her way of thinking, and do the same thing. But I'm so excited. I am definitely going to be in my arts and crafts era. So it wouldn't be a bookish Christmas haul without gift cards. I got 2 Barnes & Noble gift cards, and I still have to like visit other family. So this collection is definitely going to be growing in the future. So expect a book shopping vlog soon, because going to the bookstore with gift card money is like a top tier experience because it's guilt-free. I don't have to feel bad about buying books even though I have a huge physical TBR because it's not real money. It's not real money. Girl math. If you have any book recs on what I should buy with my gift card money, leave them down below. Comment down below, please. So the last non-book but book related item that I got is this little book charm, and it is so cute. It can also be worn as a bracelet, but I'll probably just use it as a book charm. I don't really wear a lot of jewelry. I don't know why. I think it's just because I fidget a lot. So this is so cute. I actually don't use any bookmarks. It's mainly because I don't ever go out of my way to buy them, and I use used to use pictures like Polaroids as bookmarks, but then I would lose them, unfortunately. So I literally just remember the page that I'm on and we just go by vibes. Like if I misremember the page, I'll read a little bit and I'll be like, this is familiar, and I'll just keep flipping until I find the page that I was on. But now that I have this cutie little bookmark, I will definitely be changing my bad habit. So moving on to the book haul part of this video, we are starting off with some fun special editions of One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. So this is the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig, and I read the Shepherd King duology at the start of this year and I absolutely loved it. One Dark Window was a 5-star read for me, and Two Twisted Crowns was, I think, a 4.5 or a 4-star read. I love duologies. I feel like it's really hard to find a fantasy standalone. I also feel like fantasy books, you really have to have at least 2-3 books just because of all the world building and information. So I feel like duologies are the perfect compromise because it's not a 6-book series and you still get like the full character arcs, all the world building and all of that, but with only 2 books. Like, it is such a nice low commitment way into fantasy. But these are the Barnes & Noble special editions and they are just so beautiful. Like, I'm turning the foil and it's so stunning. I also feel like special editions are such a loophole for me because I've already read these books. So I'm not adding onto my physical TBR, but I still get the fun gratification and enjoyment of opening books on Christmas. So loophole for all you bookworms right there. Get special editions of books you've already read. Both of my arms are getting very tired because these books are heavy, okay? But I'm gonna tell you guys what One Dark Window is about. So it is a gothic fantasy and it's basically about this magical kingdom called Blunder that has this like infectious mist. It is bad news, and basically if you get touched by this mist, you basically go insane, you'll die. But there is a way to cure the mist and to lift it and get rid of it, which is to collect all the playing cards of this magical deck, and each playing card has a different magical power. But one thing that I love about this series is that it really emphasizes this idea that magic comes with a price. So when you use the magical cards, there is a trade-off. So for instance, there's this card that like makes you super, super beautiful, but the more you use the card, the less you are yourself. You kind of become less empathetic, less compassionate. You just become very stone cold. When I first read this book, I just loved the magic system. I think it was very, very unique. It reminded me a little bit of Caraval just because of the playing decks and things like that, but I don't think Rachel Gillig copied Stephanie Garber at all because this is definitely its own book in its own world, but it's definitely a fun premise that I think a lot of people would enjoy. So moving on, the next special edition I got was of Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I'm like pretty sure you can get this special edition at Barnes & Noble, Target, Walmart, anywhere. It literally has the Target sticker still on. Book stickers are the bane of my existence. They are every book lover's mortal enemy because they're a nuisance. They're a pain. Come on stores. Stop putting stickers on our books. This is definitely a nice alternative if you don't like cartoon covers because it has such a sleek look to it. When I read this last year, I rated it a 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I love the Maple Hill series mainly because of the found family. I love the found family trope. It is probably my all-time favorite trope, which is crazy to say because enemies to lovers exist, but the found family trope just like adds so much to a book because you fall in love with not just the main characters, but literally everyone. And there are moments in this book where the friend groups are talking and everyone is like interacting, and I was like literally dying of laughter because it is just hilarious. Icebreaker is the first book in the Maple Hill series. It's about Anastasia and Nathan Hawkins. Nathan Hawkins is a hockey player. Anastasia is a ice skater. And basically the hockey arena that the hockey team practices in got flooded. And as a short-term solution, the college that they attend decided to make the ice skaters and hockey players share ice skating rinks. And that does not go over well with Anastasia. So there's a little bit of a rivals to lovers going on. They definitely did not get along at first. So this book is definitely a little bit of that rivals to lovers trope. I don't think I would classify it as enemies to lovers just because enemies to lovers really only exists in fantasy books, if you ask me. But it's rivals to lovers, it's a college romance, it's a sports romance, specifically hockey, there's found family, and it's that ice skater, hockey player relationship dynamic. So if you haven't read this book, definitely give it a try. I think it's so fun. It is a little bit more on the spicy side. I know some people don't love that, but some people do. So if you're that kind of person, read this book if you haven't already. So moving on, the next few special editions I got were actually part of a series, and that is the Knock 'em Out series by Lucy Score. Each of these books are literally stunning. They are so beautiful. I can't wait to put them on my bookshelf, but I'm going to show you guys them individually just because they are stunning. They deserve their own moment. So first up, we have Things We Never Got Over. This is the first book. So pretty, so stunning, but this is about Nox and Naomi. I'm pretty sure Naomi got left at the altar, so she just kind of goes on this road trip or something because her twin sister says that she's in danger, needs her help, whatever. So she goes to the town that her sister lives in, which is Knock 'em Out, and because they're twins, people in the town think that she's her twin sister, and her twin sister is not a great person. So Nox, our main male character, he's very grumpy, he's very stubborn, stern, things like that. But he thinks that Naomi is her twin sister, and he just like blows up at her. He just starts yelling at her, and they just do not get off on the right foot. So this book is definitely Grumpy X Sunshine. There's a little bit of like dislike to friends to lovers. It's a little bit of single parent as well because Naomi has this niece, Waylay, that she takes in. And normally I do not like kids in books. They're usually a hit or miss, but Waylay was a huge hit for me. I loved her character. You really feel for her and what she is going through at such a young age. And because of that, I just really empathized with her character and fell in love with Waylay. Not to mention, there's also this huge mystery subplot in this book, which I just ate up. I loved it. Next up, we have Things We Hide from the Light. This is the second book. So stunning. I think out of all three of these special editions, I think this one is my favorite just because I'm a pink girly through and through. I love a good pink book, and this is just so beautiful, so gorgeous. But this book is about Nash and Lena. Nash is actually Nox's brother, and this book really goes into his mental health and what he's going through. Lena ends up becoming his next door neighbor because she's in town for this assignment. She has a very high stakes job. She travels a lot. She's just never in one place for too long. And because they're neighbors, they kind of start to develop this kind of friendship and things like that. I really loved this book, do not get me wrong, but it wasn't my favorite. I think Things We Never Got Over will never be beat for me just because of the novelty of the small town when you first read it, and then you also had the mystery subplot. That was what really did it for me. I'm not gonna lie, that like kept me on the edge of my seat. Whereas this book, the mystery is obviously already solved and it's a little bit more character driven, but I still love Nash, okay? I still love him. And then last but not least, we have Things We Left Behind. This is the third and final book, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have not read it yet, which is horrible to say because it was such a highly anticipated read for me. But when it first came out, there was a lot of negative reviews, and it really just made me kind of hesitant to start it, even though I love the series and I love Lucy's Score. This book is about Lucian and Sloane. Lucian is a family friend of Nox and Nash. He's like basically an honorary brother. And then Sloane is our main female character. She's a librarian. She's actually friends with Naomi, I'm pretty sure. But her and Lucian used to be like friends in high school, I think. But something happened and now they do not like each other at all. Or let me rephrase that. Sloane doesn't like Lucian at all, and I think Lucian is still kind of hung up on Sloane. But yeah, second chance, and then obviously you get that fun found family again. You get the small town romance. Honestly, talking about this book makes me question why I haven't read it yet because the premise sounds so fun. Maybe looking at this book every day on my bookshelf will inspire me to actually pick it up. So the next few books I got are actually part of a series, and that is the Prison Healer trilogy. This trilogy has been on my radar for such a long time. I'm pretty sure Sarah Caroli has spoke highly about it, and obviously if Sarah Caroli liked it, I'm probably gonna like it because we have such similar book tastes. but I did ask for the entire series just because girl math, it makes the most sense to buy the entire series instead of each one separately. I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit sad that one of the books are paperback and then two of them are hardback, so the entire series does not match, but I'm really trying to just get over it and not listen to the voices in my head, because why do I need to go out and buy it in a hardback when I have it in a paperback? Like, the words are still the same, but for some reason my mind and my perfectionism does not get that or understand that. So we might be using that gift card money to buy it in a hardback, but we'll see. Maybe I can just live with it and everything will be good in the world. I put the other two books down just because it was getting very heavy holding the entire series and I have no upper arm strength. So I'm actually gonna just read you the inside of the book because I feel like the synopsis is a little bit hard for me to describe and I don't want to get anything wrong. So the inside of the book says, 17-year-old Kiva Meridian has spent the last 10 years fighting for survival in the notorious death prison Zalendov, working as a prison healer. When the rebel queen is captured, Kiva is charged with keeping the terminally ill woman alive long enough for her to undergo the trial by ordeal, a series of elemental challenges against the torments of air, fire, water, and earth, assigned to only the most dangerous criminals. Then a coded message from Kiva's family arrives containing a single order: "Don't let her die, we are coming." Aware that the trials will kill the sickly queen, Kiva risks her own life and volunteers in her place. If she succeeds, both she and the queen will be granted their freedom, but no one has ever survived. With an incurable plague sweeping Zalendov, a mysterious new inmate fighting for Kiva's heart, and a prison rebelling brewing, Kiva can't escape the terrible feeling that her trials have only just begun. Okay, now I understand why I was so excited about this series. I'm not gonna lie, kind of forgot what it was about, but I knew that it was on my radar and it was on my wish list, so I asked for it. But like, this sounds so good. This sounds so interesting. Again, if you are a frequent viewer of my channel, you know that I love a good high stakes competition, a good high stakes trial, and I bet this book is gonna serve and deliver, okay? So moving on, the next book we have is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually really don't know what this book is about. I've heard good things about it. I keep seeing it on my Instagram feed, so I feel like that's a good sign. And I feel like a lot of people like to compare it to the movie When Harry Met Sally, and I haven't ever seen that movie. I really don't know why. I think it's because my mom doesn't like it, and that's why I've never seen it, but I know it's iconic. Like, I know it's a fan favorite. I'm gonna read the back of the book just so we can kind of get an understanding of what this book is about. We can learn together. But it says, when Ari and Josh first meet, the wrong kind of sparks fly. They hate each other instantly. A free-spirited, struggling comedian, Ari likes to keep things casual and never sleeps over after hooking up. Josh, a born and bred New Yorker, has ambitious plans to take the culinary world by storm and find the one. They have absolutely nothing in common except that they happen to be sleeping with the same woman. Oh my gosh, that is a twist. That is a twist. Ari and Josh never expect their paths to meet again, but years later, as they're both reeling from ego-bruising breakups, a chance encounter leads to a surprising connection. Friendship! Oh my gosh. Love. Turns out spending time with your former nemesis is fun when you're too sad to hate each other and too sad for hate sex. As friends without benefits, they find comfort in late-night Netflix binges, swiping through each other's online dating profiles, and bickering across boroughs, until one night the unspoken boundaries of their platonic relationship begin to blur. With sharp observations and sizzling chemistry, You Again explores the dynamics of co-ed friendship in this irresistible romantic comedy of modern love in all its forms. Okay, this book sounds so good. Oh my gosh. So it sounds like it's kind of enemies to friends to lovers, and then it's also opposites attract because they are literally nothing alike, and then maybe like a one-night stand kind of thing. Okay, I'm like really excited about this book. I'm very excited. Is it probably gonna break my heart because there's gonna be a ton of miscommunication? Yes. But am I gonna love every single second of it? Yes. So next up, we have another romance book, which is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I read The 7-Year Slip by her this year, and it was probably one of my favorite books of 2024. So I'm so excited to have her newest release and to finally read it. The premise of this book is so unique. It sounds so fun, but basically our main female character wakes up one day in the town of her famous romance novel. So it kind kind of is following this theme of Ashley Poston's other books of contemporary romance meets magical realism, but you also get a bookish main character, which I just love in books. I love it when characters in books are also bookish people. I feel like because you have this shared hobby with this fictional character, you can just relate to them more, and it's like you have this inside joke with the author and the character. I don't know. I just think it's so fun. I love the premise. I honestly haven't ever read anything like that before. I think that's something that Ashley Poston does so well. I feel like she keeps coming up with these unique and fun ideas. Ashley Poston has such beautiful writing. Like, I literally cannot praise her enough. If you haven't read any of her books, please go read them because she is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. So I'm pretty sure this is our last romance book of this video, but it is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowman Young. Sarah Caroli talked about this book in her 24 favorites of 2024, and that video is what inspired me to ask for this book for Christmas, just because I've heard good things about it, but it does have a trope that I am not the biggest fan of. A lot of people do not like this trope, but I've heard such good things about it, and then Sarah Caroli's little raving review was kind of the nail in the coffin for me, so I'm gonna give it a try. We're gonna see if we like it. I'm super excited. But yeah, I feel like I really can't give a lot of information about this book because I haven't read it, so I don't really have any opinions, and I don't want to tell you guys what it's about because I feel like it's kind of a go into it kind of blind book, you know? So moving on, the next book we have is Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This book took the book community by storm. Literally everyone and their mom was reading this book and singing its praises. I will say it does have a lot of negative reviews, but that's kind of what happens when a book is really hyped up. I'm a little bit late to the party, a little bit late to the hype train, but better late than never, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna be very real for a second. Be very vulnerable. I hate this cover. This cover is so embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie. I opened this book on Christmas and my dad was like, "Oh, what'd you get? What'd you get?" And I was like, "A book. I got a book, Dad. Like, look at the book. Wow." Trying to hide this like man on the cover. Like, no. Why do people do this to us? Why do they put man on the cover? Like, I don't want to see a man. I don't want to ever see a man. I don't really know much about this book. I know that it's a fae fantasy. I know that it's an adult fantasy, so there is spice. And then he has shadow powers because that's like a trend going around the fantasy book community is shadow daddies, which I hate literally that term. Like, why? Why did we do that to ourselves, book community? Why did we do that? But let's read the back of the book, shall we? We shall. 24-year-old Cyrus Fane is good at keeping secrets. No one knows about the strange powers she possesses or the fact that she has been picking pockets and stealing from the Undying Queen's reservoirs for as long as she can remember. In the land of the unforgiving desert, there isn't much a girl wouldn't do for a glass of water, but sooner or later every secret comes out. When Cyrus comes face to face with death himself, she inadvertently reopens a gate between realms and is transported to a land of ice and snow. The Fae have always been the stuff of myth, of legends, of nightmares, but it turns out they're real, and Cyrus has landed right in the middle of centuries-long conflict that might just get her killed. The first of her kind to tread the frozen mountains of Eolavia. Yeah, we're gonna go with Eolavia. In over 1,000 years, Cyrus mistakenly binds herself to a kingfisher, a handsome Fae warrior who has secrets and nefarious agendas of his own. He will use her magic to protect his people no matter what it costs him or her. Ooh, okay, that kind of sounds fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this sounds like a hoot. Sounds like a fun time. This series isn't even finished, and it did get picked up for like a movie series or a TV series, which is crazy, but it also is kind of what is motivating me to read this because I want to be in the know, you know? I want to be with the entire book community and be watching it and like understand what's happening. So that is why I'm reading Quicksilver. Maybe I'll vlog myself reading this because it is so hyped up. Like, that would be a fun time. Let me know if you want that, okay? Because I will do it. I'll do it for you guys. So the next book we have is How the Prince of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. This is like a novella that's part of the Cruel Prince trilogy. That's in Carden's POV. It's in his perspective, which I am just so excited for because when I was reading that trilogy, the entire time I was like, this needs to be dual POV. Like, I need Carden's POV like I need oxygen, okay? Like, it is a must. It is not a want. It is a must. And not to mention, this book is also like illustrated. It has a bunch of illustrations throughout the book. Oh my gosh, is that him? What a slay. Oh my gosh. What a cutie patootie. I'm so excited to read something in his POV because I am making my way through the Cruel Prince trilogy. I haven't read the last one yet, but I probably will soon for a video that I'm planning to do. Hint, hint. But yeah, when I finish the trilogy, I will be reading this book ASAP because I'm so excited. Not to mention, I love the idea of like illustrated books. I don't know, maybe I should start reading graphic novels because that's literally an illustrated book. But I love the idea of having like illustrations of the characters in a book because I read Spectacular by Stephanie Garber, and that book has illustrations and it has like fan art and stuff. And it was such a fun time. Like, it is literally so immersive to like see something acted out on the page that you're reading. Like, you don't really have to envision things because I don't really envision things when I read. I kind of look up fan art throughout my reading experience to kind of help me. If you did not know, the Cruel Prince trilogy is a YA fantasy series. It is enemies to lovers, but it's definitely a very slow burn kind of romance. The romance subplot is like non-existent. It's tiny. It's really little, but size does not matter, okay? Every little crumb that Holly Black like feeds when it comes to the romance subplot, I just eat up every single time. But I will say it is more action and politics heavy than it is romance heavy. Like, even though I love the romance, it is not a romantasy. So if you need a heavy romance subplot, I don't think it's the series for you. But if it kind of sounds up your alley and you're like, okay, I can deal with a really slow burn romance, then give it a shot. Give it a try. So moving on, the next book we have is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is her newest release, and it is also the newest addition to the Crowns of Nyxia series. The Serpent and the Wings of Night and the Ashes of the Star-Cursed King are technically a duology, but they're also part of the Crowns of Nyxia series. It's kind of like the Boys of Tommen series. Like, there's an overarching series, but every 2 books are about a different main character and a different couple. In this book, she's really just expanding on the world that she's already built by exploring the different types of vampire clans, which I'm so excited about. This book is following a character that we've already met, Mishka, or Mishk. I really don't know how to say her name. I think it's Mishka. But she is the friend of the main male character in The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and she used to be like a priestess for this sun god, but when she was turned into a vampire against her will, he kind of left her. He stopped helping her, speaking to her, things like that. But Mishka ends up being kind of kidnapped by this vampire prince, and he forces her to go on this mission with him to the underworld to go get this thing. And she kind of sees this as her opportunity to maybe betray the vampire prince to get back in the good graces of her sun god. So definitely a fun premise. I'm so excited. Carissa Broadbent is such a good fantasy author. I feel like she does so well with like world building and like really trying to like feed you this information without info dumping, which I hands down love. Like, please and thank you. But yeah, cannot wait to start this book. It is also available on Kindle Unlimited if you don't want to pay for a physical copy. But I just knew that I needed the physical copy because I have all of her other books, so it was a must. It was a must, okay? So I'm pretty sure this is the last book of my Christmas book haul, but it is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli, I want to say. I am so sorry if I butchered that, but I'm terrible at last names. But I'm so excited. This is the first book of the Crimson Moth series, and I'm pretty sure the second one comes out soon. But I have heard nothing but good things about this book. Sarah Caroli has talked very highly about it. I'm pretty sure Destiny Sidwell has as well. And then one of my very good friends also have read this, and she talked so highly about it, and she's really picky about books. So I'm gonna take that as a good sign and read it. But basically, the premise of this book is that our main character is a witch, and there is this like witch hunter, I guess, and in order to like kind of help her people, she ends up dating or like helping the witch hunter to kind of take the heat off her coven and kind of stray him away from their trail, I guess is what I'm trying to say. She's just trying to misdirect him by like helping him. But here's the twist. The witch hunter, who's our main main male character, he has suspicions that she is a witch. So he's also kind of using her because he wants to find out if she's a witch or not. So it's kind of like enemies to lovers. I think there is a marriage of convenience. I think they do get like engaged or something. And yeah, like it just sounds so interesting. I think the premise is so fun. Literally the inside of the book says enemies to lovers doesn't get more high stakes than a witch and a witch hunter falling in love. Like I love that. That sounds so fun. I'm like really trying to finish series, but there's so many fun new fantasy series coming out. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I really don't know what to do. I guess I'm just never gonna ever finish series, unfortunately, because how could I when there's just so many great things to read? So the final book related thing I got for Christmas was a Kindle Color Soft. I am so excited about this. This literally came right before Christmas. My mom was freaking out. She was like, I don't know if your big gift is gonna come in time. Like, you just need to mentally prepare yourself that you're not gonna have your big gift and it's gonna come after Christmas. And I'm like, okay, mom, like I'm literally like 21. Like, it's not that big a deal. But she came in time for Christmas and I'm so excited about her. She is just so stunning. Like, it's turned off right now, but like that is so fun. Here, I'll turn it on real quick. It was literally Stuff Your Kindle Day yesterday. So I have all these new books. Like, that is stunning. I'm so excited. The little like yellow light that everyone's talking about, that was like everyone's big issue with it. I really don't have an issue. I don't have a yellow light. I haven't read anything yet because I'm reading Sky Shade by Alex Astor, and that is not on my Kindle. That's a physical copy. So I really haven't had the time to read this yet to like utilize it, but I'm so excited. I've been wanting an e-reader in color for such a long time. Like, this is literally so exciting. So that was my entire Bookish Christmas haul. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Comment down below what books you got for Christmas, what book related items you got. I would love to know. And lastly, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos. I have a lot of fun things planned because my winter break is not over yet. So make sure to subscribe. Make sure to turn on post notifications so you really don't miss out on any of my uploads. And yeah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.